Hey guys, Dev here, and welcome to another video. So today I'm hitting Hellfire Ramparts. This is the first time I've attempted a heroic on the beta, and I'll show you this run in its full, including all the little mishaps. So I chose ramps as my first heroic, as it's the one I know the best, the one we've done the most research in. I already made my ramps video, so if you haven't seen it, go check that one out. But yeah, straight away the sheeped mob pulling the pat, and then the healing getting clapped. So we lost our soul stone from that pull. Before we get into the video as well, I do want to say thanks to all the new subs that I've subbed recently. I don't know if you guys know, but I did lose my job with COVID. And we're about 110 subs away from YouTube partner now. So if you haven't done already, please hit that sub. Getting that first 1,000 is going to be a huge milestone for me. So thank you so much to everyone that's subbed so far. I'm really happy with how the channel's going, and I hope you guys are enjoying all the videos. So just pulling this pack back to be safe. I'm walking out of the Rain of Fire. Heroics so far are really fun. They feel a lot better than doing the normal dungeons. As you guys saw from the speed clear, coming through here in normal was just like an absolute cakewalk. This is played back at double speed, so we're already 3 minutes into the actual run, and packs are taking a little bit to kill. I would say that ramps is probably one of the easiest heroics. I have done Blood Furnace since this, and Blood Furnace slapped us. Like we got a good butt kicking, to be honest. It's really good. But I'll show you that video too. I think it ended up being like a 2-hour run or something. But yeah. So just working through each pack as we go. And honestly, like, I've been tanking on the warrior a lot recently, and Prod is so much more enjoyable. Prod Pally is just... it is a dream. Like, the warrior is fun. Like, there's a lot more buttons to push, but just the toolkit that you do have on the prop Paladin, it's a good time. I'm really looking forward to when TBC goes live as well, maintaining off specs, because I do like to do a little bit of healing. I do like to dabble in red. I have played a little bit of red on the beta too, and it just feels so much better than classic. So this run as well, it'll look very similar to normal ramps in terms of how marking. If you want a big in-depth discussion on how I actually set up these pulls and what I kill first and why, go check out my ramps masterclass. It's about 21 minutes of just explaining mechanics in here. This video is just more so you guys can see like how heroics look. So I was also very curious because, like, when I was younger playing TBC, I do have really vivid memories. Oh, okay, this pull here just goes all sorts of pear-shaped, if I remember correctly. Let's watch it out. Pretty sure somebody gets feared into... yeah, that fear goes off. He pulls as the dog pack is arriving. Do we get them? No, we don't. Okay, so it's not as bad as I thought it was. I'm doing my best just to kite, to keep repositioning back, keep getting topped up. Bopping the healer there. And I believe we win this, but it was one hell of a fight to survive. Oh yeah, the dogs come, the extra dogs. Every person in this group was using everything they had in their toolkit to live. And this Nulls dude, if you ever watch this, you're a mad lad. Your control was so good. Okay, cool. Getting pretty pogged over winning through that pull. But yeah, you can see, like, that nearly wiped us then. And in the normal run, that was just a routine pull. We'd do that for the fun of it. So with a couple more packs, you know, like. But yeah, heroics, especially early on. And about the gear that I'm currently wearing as well. I do have the epic shield and I do have the epic sword on, because they maxed our reps out. This is on the instant 70 server. So I would say some pieces of gear that I have on right now are probably better than what you will be doing heroics in when TBC goes live. Now this I wanted to try no CC pull, and like, not happening. Like, you're going to need some CC if you're planning on doing heroics. When we did Blood Furnace, we literally like CC'd 2 mobs out of every 4 pull, where we could. I think we had like a warlock, we had a mage, so I think we always had a sheep going, and then if there was a demon, we would banish the demon a lot of the time. But I'll put that run up at some point over the next couple days as well. So I'm just going to skip until when we run back. Okay, so just got back to our bodies, just eating, drinking, and rebuffing. So there's an example of what happens if you don't CC. I tested it, so you don't need to. Highly suggest CCing, and interestingly, like, I know a lot of people saying like, oh, you only need 1 mage per raid, you only need one rogue per raid, or you need 0 rogues. Those kind of classes are going to be really handy when you're running heroics, so I wouldn't completely write them off, especially when you get into the harder ones, because ramps was so much easier than Blood Furnace, to be honest. Like, you could probably get through here, you know, with just stuns or something. It'll be interesting to see what the meta for heroics is. Like, if it's, you know, is it big AoE, is it cleave groups? Are people gonna want warrior DPS? Because they don't really, like, out of everything, warriors have the least amount of CC. They have big cleave damage, sure, especially if they're fury, but I can see rogues being, I don't know. I know personally I'm going to be looking for a rogue or a mage in all of my groups, at least one of them, especially early on. So right now we're just clearing the floor, getting ready for the boss, and I was really excited to see how the first boss is going to feel. Because I couldn't even explain this boss in my masterclass video before it was dead. So I have to admit, there's Nulls again with an awesome sheep. They just stay consistent, I think. His control. If you are playing fire if you have a mage friend and he's playing fire in raid, probably have a chat to him about if he wants to play frost for heroics, because it brings a lot of useful things, especially when they've got the pet out and they can like double nova. Okay, so this is something I wanted to test as well, which was sheeping the destroyer to see if they're CCable, because that's something that I hadn't tested. Turns out they are, so that was really good. So another option for CC that you have, which differs from the normal way of doing this, so normally we just kill off the Mortal Strike mob, would be to actually CC that mob, because it does live for a considerably amount, like a lot longer. What am I even trying to say? For a lot longer on heroic, so CCing that might be a valuable strategy. So not quite sure why I wanted to clean these before the boss, but I think I just wanted to be extra safe and make sure we had room to move in case knockbacks and whatnot. And yeah, even that mage, just choosing to sheep the X there of his own accord, breaking it as the other one was dying, just really, really good. So just checking some stuff there, see if anything differed on their abilities. And let's see what this feels like on heroic. So marking up Skull and X there, expecting to kill them off, but the mage did sheep one of the watchers, so that's really good to know that you can actually CC a mob. We kill off the watcher really good, and you can see like the boss is it's not just melting now. Like the fight is actually taking a bit. I've got 1 stack on me, boss is still at 50%, about to take a second stack, there it is. And this group was, you know, they had all the epic weapons and stuff from the vendors, you know, they were decently geared. It will be a longer fight the first time you come through here. So we get the awesome Shadow Priest boots, 37 shadow damage, it's not for me. And then almost forgot my badge, so that's something we're going to have to get used to, everybody looting bosses. So calling for a sheep on star. Letting the group know my feelings about how it feels on heroic. Also, another thing you can do if you are a dwarf paladin is this bleed is stone formable. So it's really nice to knock that off if you accidentally like chain pull dogs or whatever and your stacks end up getting too high. So just clearing up this pack now, and then we're going to be heading upstairs and have a look at the last two bosses. Okay, so this was an interesting pack that I was curious how it was going to turn out. So we've got the four Scryers and the Ripper. So interesting to see how his stacks ended up. So very little CC here. It's quite a few targets, and the damage felt good. We ignored the skull, so we ended up with a pretty a buffed Ripper, which is interesting. And we only ignored him a little bit. So I think if your group completely switched off to that, he could even see 4 stacks, which would be interesting. Okay, so getting these 2 destroyers out of the way, and then I'm pretty sure here we wipe. I'm trying to remember how this happened. I recorded this a few days ago, so I'll have a little look and see what goes wrong. Okay, so pull that group back. Ah, the mage stays out to sheep, that's right. So the mage waits to sheep and then it accidentally pulls the second pack. Alright, so that was that wipe. We went down here. I'll just jump into wallback. 1 second. Alright, so we're back in our bodies now, just rebuffing once again. Topping up that mana. And we'll be a little safer in how we pull this time. So just fixing up the marks and pulling back again. And you see that I kind of keep backpedaling because like the sheep hasn't come back, and I know I want to drop cons, but I don't want to drop it on top of the destroyer and ruin the CC. So something you're gonna need to be really careful of is how you do position your cons around the CCs. And also once mobs start to die like that and they're walking off, they're on 5%, generally your best bet is to leave DPS to kill them off and get into position to pick up the next mob. So just marking everything up as it should be, just really, you know, just pride yourself as a tank. You want to pride yourself on nice clean runs. Like, we weren't in comms or anything for this, but the group knows exactly what I want killed first on every single pull. And it just makes their life nicer, your life nicer, the healer's life nicer. Just everyone's having a good time when the run is clean. And also, first time doing this on Heroic, like, it will get better. You know, we know what to look for now when we wipe. And if you're doing it with a bunch of friends, you guys are going to get really good at doing Heroics because you're going to want to do that badge farm. As many as you can. My goal will be, as soon as possible, to try and do all the Heroics, if possible, in a day. So I imagine ramps would probably get down to maybe like a 30-minute run relatively quickly. So it'll be interesting just to see how much time I have to actually make it through all the Heroics. And as your gear gets better as well, you know, you can think about dropping some CC or possibly even doing some bigger pulls. Or CCing the annoying mobs that stun and doing a double pack that way. You know, there's going to be a lot of freedom. Really interesting as well, what's going to be is to see how the meta works, because things that we never foresaw in Classic, or personally I didn't see it, but like I guess the private server crowd knew, like, you know, warriors being super OP, etc. But my memories of Classic were not, or my expectations of Classic, I should say, were not 20 man, you know, warriors in one raid. I really enjoy raids where there's one of every class or one of every spec. I think that creates a really unique balance, and seeing all the little tricks and unique bonuses that come to the table. Okay, so I'm going to shut up for a second and talk about this boss rather than what I like about it raids. So I was curious to see how we're going to do this boss. I thought that we'd be killing off the ads, but the DPS decided that nope, we're burning the boss. So the boss had a little over 80,000 health, and the the hounds coming up with 10k or 9k. I have no idea what killed the healer there. I'm going to go back and watch that, because I didn't know what killed the healer in the run either. Okay, and then we just have to clean up the hounds. Okay, I'm just going to go back and have a little look what happened to the healer. Okay, so I know what killed the healer. It was stacking too close to the mage. And it looks like that Treacherous Aura absolutely slaps on Heroic because he got 2-shot. I think that's what killed him. I'm going to have a look into the abilities on Heroic and see what differs. Alright, so standing in front of the last boss now. We know we've got to kill the 2 guys and then straight into the boss fight. So pulling into Skull. So you don't want to burn all your mana here as well. I think I go double wisdom to get some regen in. So I can go into the boss fight with as much mana as possible. And there's Vazirden. Dropping them fireballs. Just trying to kite him out of it. Range doing a good job in the back of moving out of their fire. And Nazan comes down and the boss is, well, the human's still at 20%, so we've got both of them hitting us here. And I reposition the boss here so I can just strafe out of it and keep the boss still. That was the other strat that I was talking to you about in the heroic guide, the normal guide. And strafing, just strafing and positioning him so he's not breathing, and so long as you do the mechanics, easy peasy, as the Warlock said there. Let's see what loot we got. We got the Shaman DPS hands and a Ret helm, or Warrior helm, which reuses the might. Okay guys, so that was Heroic Ramps for my first time. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoyed hearing what I had to say about it, and no doubt I'll have a lot more Heroic videos coming soon. If you haven't, don't forget to sub, and I'll see you in the next one.